Hey, welcome to Gizmo's Amazing Kitchen. Okay, so putting this on my, supplementary channel. There's not going to be much editing. It's being filmed on my phone, so everything's going to be kind of shoved together. But here's what I wanted to do. I was browsing the web. So I'm dealing with this site called Reddit. I don't visit much this subforum, but I checked out the Finland subforum. Kind of find it oftentimes kind of a negative vibe there, so not something I look at too much. But there was some guy asking if they could survive in Finland on something like, 70, 100 euros a month. For a grocery budget. Everybody seemed to attack him, telling him it's ridiculous. A few people did, say, yeah, it can be done, but some were saying, oh, it's a luxury to be an exchange student, don't even think about it. And, maybe I'm exaggerating because it's probably been a week or so. But, something I've done since I've been here is make really cheap meals. And the reason is because when I first came here, I was living on roughly 300 euros a month, and I had to make it work. 150 was my rent. I was in a shared apartment, student apartment, so not too bad. And then 150 to cover everything else, so about 100 for food and 50 for, public transport. I rode a bike everywhere, so, never ate at the university cafeteria because it was too expensive, still is. Prices are going up. And back then, my diet was all over the place because I wasn't as organized as now. That was about over 10 years now. Obviously, situations has changed. We're in the middle of rapid inflation, so on and so on. But I'll say this: when I was still a student and doing the odd job or two, I always thought, hey, when I get myself a real job and I'm rich, I'm gonna buy all this junk and eat out and etc., etc. Well, time comes and that happens, and that lasts about a week or two before I'm like, man, this is junk. Honestly, doing this kind of meal prep that I've been doing for years, and still do, kept me the healthiest I had ever been. It's something I try to continue to do out of convenience and everything. Now, one of the things I have failed to incorporate into meal prep are soups, and I want to change that because I like the occasional soup. You can see some previous videos of what I've done, and kind of the thing that we still do, despite, nowadays, I'm not living on 300 a month anymore, out of that reality, but still doing meal prep. And the big reason for that is it's hard to make the time to make good, healthy, tasty food. And yeah, and then right now we're still doing roughly about €1 a meal. So in a month you can expect that to be about 90 a month per person. Works out. I don't know how many meals we're going to make here, and I think we're going to make more meals than I expect. Yeah, there's no script in this video, it's off the cuff. I guess that's the word you use. So, let's see what ingredients I'm using. I have here, in on that, 15 kilos of Finnish peas. That was 23 euros. It's gonna last a while. Obviously, if you can't buy in bulk, the price of peas is €2 a kilo, I believe. Here are some carrots, 4 kilos, at about €1.35 a kilo. So what's that? That's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, 5 or 6 euros. So we can put that at, what, 28, 29? Several garlic cloves, several onions. Price is on there, 258, 169. And I got a bunch of hot dogs. We're gonna make a vegan recipe without the hot dogs, and then for me, I'm gonna throw in the hot dogs. That was about 260. So, you know, and of course I have some pepper and salt, and we're gonna buy some mustard to throw in there. Overall, you know, price of this is gonna be about 30 to 40 euros. I'm planning to make about 40 liters. So that should make minimum 80 meals. I get a feeling that I might end up with more than I kind of expect to make, but we'll see. I ordered myself a 20-liter pot. Obviously, if you're trying to do this on the cheap, you're not going to go out and buy a 20-liter pot because about 50, 60 euros, they're not cheap. Point is, I mean, you don't have to do this in bulk. The majority of the ingredients are cheap in small quantities. This is just an example of one meal that can be made on cheap. I've never actually made this meal because, like I said, I haven't been incorporating soups into my diet. Of course, if you're in Finland, pea soup is like one of the national dishes, so who knows? Let's see if I'll mess this up. Okay, so the pots, or the pot, I only ordered one, I'll do it one at a time, will arrive here probably tomorrow, but before that, I mean, we have dried peas, and we have two 10-liter pots here. I'm going to fill them up about halfway, because we expect them to roughly double in size, maybe more. At least double in weight, who knows. Let's say this is one heavy bag. I'm planning to do this for a while anyway. I don't think in the future I'm going to make these many meals. You want some variety, but for a first go, I want to try this. And in the future, not just pea soups, but mushroom soups, you know, etc., etc. And kind of the point is, like, you know, it's. I think whoever this kid is doing this exchange, I mean, yeah, it's gonna be rough, but man, you know, you don't need a lot of money to do these things, in my opinion. Okay. So, I kind of think that's a bit over half. Let's go ahead and pour some of it in here. Okay, so let's say that's about, maybe a little, it's roughly half. I'm going to let that slowly fill up with water. Just kind of filling this up. Okay, so my camera has a 10-minute recording limit. Don't know what cut out, just put the peas away. I was saying they're going to last a long time, probably the rest of the year. And we'll use it. Peas have a lot of protein, generally healthy. I don't know exactly what's in them. I mean, it's peas. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to let these sit overnight. Tomorrow I'm expecting to get the pot to cook them in. For the ingredients, might as well put them away right now because I'm not going to chop them up until it's soup time. So, when we're talking, 80, minimum 80 meals. And these are going to be this is going to be quite filling. I mean, we'd say soup, but this is going to be a very thick soup. Very thick So, we're saying, at most, we're going to be paying, we're going to be paying, what did we say? Do math today. 40 cents per, 50 cents per meal at on the high end. Obviously, you don't want to probably be eating this every day, all day. I know it's never good to eat the same thing every day. Might end up missing out on some nutrients, or I don't know. The point is that this is one of many meals that can be made cheap. Rice, beans, everything you can buy dry a lot is extremely affordable. And like I said, I still do this. I can't vouch for, I'm not struggling, so I'm not doing extreme budgeting, but still we're doing about 140 a person, and that's about less than €1 a meal for meal prep. But then we also like to, have a salad from the store every once in a while, some pizza, all that kind of stuff in between. But this is nice because we throw it into a deep freezer. Been about a month worth of food in there. Last maybe 2 or 3 because it's not the only thing we're eating. Could be, but it's not. And usually we fry up some vegetables, make different, noodles, rice, whatever you want, different types of meals, tacos, We have one big day where it'll be about 4 or 5 hours that I'll cook and make this huge meal plan. And we do it huge because, spend 4 or 5 hours one day, and then the rest of the days, hey, I'm hungry. Toss something in the microwave, 5 minutes later, you're eating a delicious meal. They come out pretty good in my opinion. I'm a bit biased because I make them. So what I'm going to do here is just turn the top on because there's really not too much to say. Like I said, we're going to fill these up, let them soak. Hopefully we get the pot tomorrow. I think on the booklet or whatever, the bag, it said soak them for at least 10 hours. One of the reasons I haven't incorporated soup into our meal plans our meal prep, is because you get the biggest pot most people have, which is going to be like, 3 liters. And you don't get that many meals, and soup, you usually let it, kind of cook for hours, at least, you know, that's my experience, if you want all the flavors to mix and taste good, you know, with the spices and etc. But like I said, you know, you can do this in small batches. It's gonna take a bit of time. And what else? Just got a little distracted by some noise. Yeah, so that's why, you know, I'm getting the big pot. Do about 40 meals in one go, maybe more. I mean, I'm just doing a rough calculation in my head. I think half a liter is a meal. Might be. I'm kind of expecting it actually to be less for a meal. And soup is kind of sort of easy. It's just takes a bit of time. You gotta let things sit. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. And we'll continue when the pot is here. It's gonna be a long video, so. And what I'll do is in the description or the title, I'll put in how many meals I actually get out of it. And regardless, whatever I get out of it, I still have probably another, I would estimate 10 kilos of peas or something. I mean, 22 euros for 15 kilos. I know there's places where you can get it for that price, but if you go down to like S Market, Lidl, etc., it's going to cost you about 2 euros per kilo. And throughout Europe, and they sell them, I think, half a kilo a bag, so it's like €1 for a bag. So you know, you mix that up with some ingredients, you get some good meals. And I expect throughout Europe, probably similar prices, maybe even cheaper the further south you go. So this might help anyone out there. Like I said, no script here, so I do tend to ramble on. So let's continue the next day. Hello. So, the box came a day late, which means that my beans were soaking a bit too long. I rinsed them out a few times throughout the day yesterday. And then this morning, poured boiling water into each of them, about 6 or 7 liters up to capacity. These are 10-liter buckets. Poured boiling in water so that any fermentation would stop. So although fermentation is not necessarily bad, it's not what we want. It's not what we want, and hopefully they're still good. They haven't smelled bad or anything. So they usually smell and taste. Of course, I'll eat some, and if I get sick, I get sick. But anyway, let's open this up. Nice big 20-liter pot and pan with a 18.5 liters to be exact. Obviously, like I said, these ingredients, you don't have to do them in bulk. There's no real need for it. The only reason I do it is so that I don't have to do it every day. But, you know, if you're a student living cheap, you likely don't have to do that. That is hot with an instruction manual. I'll have to rinse this out, I'm sure. Yeah, you can tell. I mean, those buckets with the boiling water, they've been dripping a bit. Condensation and all that. Let's see. Okay, anything says use salt to prevent discoloration. Discoloration is not harmful. Okay, yeah. Yeah. But putting salt into empty pots or cold water can cause discoloration. Well, I'm not too worried about that. I mean, I do expect that this will leach some of those heavy metals, very trace amounts. The first few uses, there's some articles out there, research papers that say that in fact does happen. But that's just kind of a matter of life whenever you have a new pot, and then after a few uses, that no longer happens. And obviously, if you don't believe me on that, you can search for it. Let's remove. That. There we go. Nice big pot. Anyway, I'm going to rinse it out a bit. I wonder if I could fit. We'll leave it at one. Okay, nice, big, giant pot. So what do we do now? We take one of these 4 buckets and move over to the rinsing corner, whatever. And we're gonna empty at least one of these buckets, maybe 2. If you recall, there was 1 bucket to start with. Everything's wet. That's, like I said, condensation. These buckets are not water tight as far as I can tell. In any case, I believe the water condensates on the top, drips down. The reason I did it like this was because water contains, it takes a long time for water to cool, so I expect these to actually be cooked by now. Smells like peas. Now, the disadvantage of doing it this way is there's a good chance that I've lost a lot of the nutrients and flavor. But I'm not going to let that deter us. Not cooked, but they don't seem like they've gone bad yet. They are hard. So I have read that if you over soak them and they reach some critical point, then it will be next to impossible to get them soft. Is that true? I don't know. The problem is, a lot of information you find online is anecdotal at best. So. But that looks fine to me. Gonna have to dislodge a couple peas got stuck in the drain. So let's move over to the cooking side. Magic. Are we still recording? You gotta watch out because of the limit. So there we go. And yeah, I think I'll do the second bucket as well. Just a moment. Also, I'm going to turn the heat on very low to start. And I'm going to add just a little bit of water. Just to get this process started. Don't want to turn up the heat just yet. Okay, this bucket needs to be washed. Just rinse it out and set it aside. So we can wash it. moving to the rinsing side, right? So, oh, that's cool. And leaky again. Not great. Okay. Yeah, ever since COVID, shipping has been unreliable. It's been getting a lot better. But it used to be that if I ordered something today and it said it would come tomorrow, it might come today. But nowadays, if it says it's coming tomorrow, it might come the day after. So at least it's not as bad as when we were in the middle of the, I guess we're still in the middle of the pandemic, but when it started, man, you could order something from within Finland and it could take a month to get to you. Let alone anything from outside Finland. I mean, a couple pieces gone everywhere around there. So, do a quick rinse of these. They don't smell bad or anything, so I think they're still good. Over soaking is what it is. I mean, kind of worried that if the package didn't come today, then we'd be in trouble because I can't exactly refrigerate this stuff as massive as it is. Okay, there we go. So, not sure what this pea is. I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's the only one that doesn't look like a normal pea. Maybe it's a specialty. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is put some water to boil in a tea kettle and slowly fill it up. I'll also put the lid on. We do have it running cool. There's one giant pot. So also I need to take out the ingredients that we're going to cook with. And that was the cutout, but anyway, cut it that time. So yeah, I'm going to put some water to boil. I can only do about 2 liters at a time, but that's okay. I expect this room to get warm. Plug this in. Let that go. Let's take out a chopping board. These surfaces were cleaned, but at the same time I prefer to put things over the board. I mean, of course, if you're going to chop, you need to. Unless you don't care about your countertops. So first off, we have onions. I'm going to take 2 of these out. Nice big red onions. I like the taste of these a bit better than the, I guess, your standard white onions. I'll chop those up. Of course, we have a bag of carrots, which are going to get chopped up as well. And then we've got 3 garlic cloves. Need that flavor in there. And then we got some cheap mustard. It's cheap mustard. Actually, I had a hard time finding this. Luckily I have all the big supermarkets near me. When I went to Lidl, I went to K-Market, and very few options and a lot of expensive options. S-Market still had, I guess, their S brand or extra brand. €2, I think, 2.05, yeah. Prices are getting high because I remember when that was €1, and that's not like the 1960s or something. That's like 5 years ago. So prices have gone up. But despite that, I'm showing you that maybe we can still make something relatively affordable. Let's see, how do we do this? I'm gonna switch to a closer view, just because it's gonna be easier for me not to be in the way of the camera. Oh, and of course, we're starting with the vegan recipe. We're gonna need a little salt and pepper as well, but we'll start here. I'll put a little salt when there's a little bit more water in there. I like to cut the onions by cutting the tops off first. I have no idea if this is like a known technique or something, but I find that by doing it this way, it's a little easier to peel. I mean, it's not always easy to peel. Sometimes over the sink. By no means am I a professional cook. Let's make that clear. Or even an amateur cook. I'm just doing what I think works. Okay, so get a bit ripped off. Let's move these out of the way. Also, the first 2 liters of liquid are done boiling, so we're going to pour those in. Yeah, get that all in there. Turn the heat up to maybe 3 out of 12. Yeah. And then put some more water in the kettle to go. The reason I'm doing it like this is because if you turn it up too high, I mean, I don't know what the quality of this pot is. I think, I don't know if I mentioned, I tried to find these used, but it's next to impossible. Whoever was selling them, they were all listed at prices that were above what I could pay for this. And maybe they were higher quality, who knows, but at the end of the day, boiling water, making soup, I don't know if it matters that much, yeah. Okay, so we'll set another roughly 2 liters of water to boil. Okay. Kettle is acting up. Must have spilled water on the kettle or something. Make sure. Okay, something's going on with that. Got it going, I don't know. Anyway, let's continue. And I'm not planning on doing any major editing here because this is a lazy video of me doing something I would normally do, but yeah, it's a lot of talking. Normally I wouldn't be talking while doing this myself. Don't know if the camera picks me up. Actually don't know what I think, so just not dwell on all that too much. Okay, so we have 2 onions here. Oh, I'm not showing you the onions, am I? Okay, there we go. So, let's clear this up a bit. Okay. So, yeah. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll toss this first bit of onion in there. It's taking my time. Get back over there. And some onion. One thing I should put in there, this is not necessary, but I got a few, or I have a few extra, so might as well put some bay leaves. So I'll put a couple of them in there. And see how that goes. Can't quite eat those, but I do have a bit. While we're at it, I don't know how much of this to add, but oof, okay. Other people might not like this, but we're just throwing in some straight up MSG, monosodium glutamate, is it? But it does wonders for simple meals like this. Kind of cheating, not maybe, but goes well. Actually, not quite sure how much you're supposed to use, but I think a little bit like that should help. So then we continue. And as you see, I'm no professional, so take my time. Sounds like the water is boiling, so let's add that in. Now we're starting to get a bit of liquid up top. Get some more water to boil. And with that, let's see, what do we have? We have a bit of salt. Just gonna lay it on there. Hold on, I'm kind of going conservatively on this, simply because, you know, just the way we're doing it now. Don't know what you guys missed out on. Put some MSG, put more water, tea kettle's boiling again, put quite a bit of salt. Put that lid on. We still have it on medium at, well, not even medium, low. It's 3 out of 12. So that, and we will continue chopping. Chop these however the heck you want. I like having, you know, chunks in there every once in a while. Not too big, but big enough that you know you're eating an onion. Some people might like it diced, blended. Smaller pieces, they might like it just the slices themselves. All good. Hope you enjoy it. I like mine to be just a little sloppy so that, you know, you get the occasional chunk in there. When it's been boiled for hours or whatever we're going to leave it there for, I think it comes out quite nice. Pour that in. I think we'll go ahead and turn the heat up a bit to medium. So I guess halfway. See how that goes. Gonna put a little mustard in there now. I should look up and see how much mustard powder goes for, because I can see some at the store. It's pretty expensive, but then again, it's like how much mustard powder goes into bottled mustard. I have no idea, and it might actually come out cheaper. Again, I'll end up putting probably in the description what the total came out to. I'm just using a rough estimate of 40 euros. So we get some of that mustard flavor in there. A lot of mustard right now. Okay, that's probably good. And then I should stir it up a bit. We still have more ingredients to go, but I'll use one of these. Smells good. Mix of onions and mustard and all that. Just hoping these peas will get soft and we're not at a complete loss. Okay, got another hot boiling water here. And I think for now, we will leave it at that. Expectation was I would have roughly, 40 liters, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, yeah, 20 liters per meal, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Still, should make quite a few meals. Let's go look at the carrots again. So, These look pretty clean, but I'll just give them a rinse just in case. We're going to use 2 kilos of that stuff. I think we can, maybe we can start with you. If you have a food processor, obviously this would, you know, go quite a bit faster. I had a food processor, broke a while back ago, and I didn't bother to try to fix it or replace it because I just found that I didn't use it much. Yeah, it does save you a lot of time if you're doing something like this, but honestly, with how small this place is, it's not that small, but anyway, space is always at a premium. And I was just not using it enough to make sense. Also, I find that some of these thicker cuts like I'm doing here, you just don't get. But of course, if you like the razors and thin slices, then it's better. So we're just putting that straight into the pot. Now, I'm taking my time here, but if you don't have that much time, and you don't have a giant pot like this, I don't know what to no, but you get the biggest pot you can, you make the biggest set of meals you can, and maybe you get a couple of days of food. I think the point is that if you want to eat relatively cheap in Finland, you have to cook your own meals. There's just not much way around that. If you're not able to cook your own meals, then, or don't want to, then probably as a student, the student lunches will be by far the cheapest way. Otherwise, once you're not a student like me, then going out to eat is expensive. I mean, it depends where you're from, but like if I want to go out to eat, it's always a good 10 to 15 euros for lunch. And I mean, obviously I don't, it's like you gotta pay wages, staff, business costs, operating costs, all that, whatever. I understand the prices, but 10 euros a day, 30 days is 300 euros, and that's a lot for one meal. Now, I know I've been repeating the same subject over and over, just because not much else to talk about here. And this will take a while. But I'm not in too much of a rush, because once all of this is chopped and cut, we're just going to let the pot sit there and boil for a few hours, let all those flavors mix. So yeah. Obviously,
don't need to be talking all the time, but sometimes, you know, when you're doing this with the camera on and video on, it kind of feels like you have to be active and on here. But then again, that's why I put this on this secondary channel where I can just take my time. That looks like 10 minutes is about up, so I'm gonna have to put record again. And there we start again. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of unfortunate. You know, prices are going up. Wages not so much. A big deal here for me right now is electricity. It's gotten a bit ridiculous, but you know, again, all understandable. I mean, we're in the middle of a war. I mean, we're not, but right across the border. Oh, there's stuff going on, right? I mean, not right across our border, but yeah, kind of close enough. Anyway, point is, prices have just shot through the roof. Maybe I've mentioned it before, but man, we were paying beginning of this year. No, actually, come on, we're in 2023 now. Beginning of 2022, I was paying something like 4 cents a kilowatt. 4 cents a kilowatt. Obviously, that doesn't include, you know, in Finland they charge the transmission rate separately. So, you know, totaling about 12 cents a kilowatt, right? Now, that transmission fee hasn't gone up much. It's, you know what, comes out to about 6-7 cents a kilowatt, right? But the price of the electricity itself has skyrocketed. We're paying nearly 50 cents a kilowatt hour in December, I think in November as well. If you can imagine at that price, I started to cut back on the lights, and pretty much that's it. We live in an apartment, lights. Even then, that first bill, you know, was in the hundreds. I mean, I use a lot of electricity because I work with electronics and whatnot. And I do have a lot of conveniences, you know, drying machine to name one, which I have to cut back on. But I can't imagine even people who, you know, I know a lot of people, a lot of folk here that they pay roughly, you know, before all this, they're paying roughly 20 euros, 30 euros a month for their electric bill, you know, living in an apartment. The advantage of living in an apartment is you do get district heating, so, you know, you don't have to worry too much about that. It comes out of your maintenance fee, but yeah, that hasn't changed much. At least not yet. But anyway, you know, when you're talking about prices tripling, quadrupling, 5 times over, you know, that 20 euro bill then becomes a 100 euro bill. And, you know, most people with work here can probably afford that, but there's always that situation where, you know, obviously it's going to cut into your leisure time spending, etc., etc. You know, part of it is we do need to reduce the usage simply because if I use too much, then my neighbors don't get electricity because looming power outages. But that said, gotta feel for the poorest of the people because, you know, I've always said, my time in Finland, that it's a country where you don't have to worry about much of anything. You know, you don't have to worry about, like, you want to work, you want to make money, you want to live well, but it's a place where, you know, you lose your job or you graduate, you don't have to think about anything. I mean, obviously, you know, as a foreigner, you do, because you're not in the system, you're not getting the majority of the benefits. I mean, obviously, you're getting, while you're studying, you do get subsidized housing and whatnot. You don't get a housing benefit. Students here, under the right conditions, typically get a portion of their housing paid. That's not something you would get if you came here. But what you do get is student pricing, which can be very attractive. You know, like I said, I was paying, when I came here, 150 euros a month for my room, and that included everything. Internet, 100 megabit, that's pretty good. Electricity, water, heating, yeah, everything in there. Just 150 flat, you know. And if I would have been a citizen here, or even at that time, a long-term resident, I think then, of course, there are conditions you need to meet, but there's a chance that you even get a portion of that covered. So, yeah, I mean, it's, like I was saying, it's a place where, in general, you don't have to worry about stuff, you know. You know, I'm part of a union, which is kind of taboo in many places in the world, but here it's kind of expected. Just about every office has a mandated kind of union representative. And what it means is, you know, I do my job, I do the best I can at my job, but, you know, worst comes to worst, part of the unemployment fund, which covers quite a lot. But even in the worst case, you know, absolute worst case, let's say I was foolish enough not to join a union, which, you know, I was when I was first here, because I had no clue how that stuff worked. You know, let's say I didn't join an unemployment fund. I mean, they're sometimes two in the same, depends on what field you're working in. There is a basic safety net here that means that, you know, maybe you won't have money to enjoy life, you know, but you'll have money to eat and pay rent and do the basic things you need to do while looking for work, you know. But with the prices going up now, I feel like that is going away. And obviously, I don't want to get, you know, too political in here, because whatever. I mean, you decide how you want things to work. That's why you vote and whatnot. But I do think that notion that was built into the system over the years now is at risk of disappearing, simply because prices are getting ridiculous. You know, when you go to, you know, essentially having enough to survive, you know, pay your rent and eat, and then prices double, triple, yeah, it gets hard. So, you know, not that it's impossible still, but there's something there. And obviously we can argue about solutions, you know. Personally, I don't mind paying more taxes. I feel like, you know, as high as my taxes are, I can still pay more, but many might disagree with that. Different ways of viewing the world, you know. And that's just my perspective. Like, I've always said it, I'd rather pay somebody, well, to do nothing than pay them to even do the most menial of tasks, you know. In the sense that there's a lot of work out there that the only reason it exists is because a person is cheaper than a robot. And that's kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Though I'm not tasting the robots or the people. Anyway, enough of that. I mean, that's my view. Obviously don't want to, not like in here to debate anything or whatnot. We're here to cook. Just trying to fill in the time. So what I'm planning to do here is we have a lot of cloves to peel. And I know there's techniques and whatnot to peel these things. I've had mixed results. Probably the worst part of this. I almost wonder if I'm better off just buying powdered garlic. Yeah. Don't know price-wise or anything, but having to peel these one by one is, man, kind of a waste of time in my opinion. I don't know. You know what? Don't mind if there's a bit of silence because, like I said, I mean, I'm running out of stuff to talk about. I'm not here to be the cooker with an opinion. I'm just here to cook. We'll be making some good food, I expect. Now, considering the amount of garlic that I have to peel, let's try one of these old tricks. Let's see if it works. Well, I know it works, it's just... Is it going to be any faster? Oh, it's a hard one to say. If I can find... Let's see. Yeah, sometimes you end up trying these time-saving techniques and spend more time than you need, but let's give this a try. We have plenty of garlic here. I don't know what that is. Let's let it. Essentially, what you do is you take all your garlic cloves, throw them into a pan like this, a pot like this. And then what I'm going to do is shake it all up. Man, that smells strong. a good thing though. So what you do, take a pot like this, put all the garlic in there, fairly dry, and then let's see, do we have anything peeled? I don't know. Okay, well. We can try that for a bit longer. Try again, right? Let's see. Any better? I don't know. Doesn't look like much of anything's happening. Jeez, man. Oops. Like I said, don't know if I'm wasting my time. It's worked before, but it might just take a while. Let's try again. Honestly, I don't see much of any improvement. I don't know, maybe it's easier to peel, but maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. You know, maybe I should try it again and just do a few. Maybe that's what's missing. Let's try. No. I don't know. Maybe it's the wrong type of garlic. I don't know. Well, you're gonna watch me peel garlic for the next 10 minutes, so welcome to the garlic channel. All garlic all the time. All the time! Ah, 10 minutes were up, so welcome back to the Gizmo Garlic channel. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Where we do nothing but peel garlic all day, every day, all year, right? Now the only difference between this and what we call the non-vegan meal will be the hot dogs. And I'm going to do the same thing, slice up some hot dogs, call it a day. Add some flavor in there, let it soak in. Wonder if cutting the tips off helps like the onion. I don't know, it doesn't seem like so much. Got a cat crying. He's got food, so probably just wants attention. Or doesn't like the smell of garlic, who knows. Maybe he's a vampire. So if I haven't said it already, the plan here is that I'm going to take all this garlic, I'm going to mix it with some black pepper, and I'm going to put it in a blender with a bit of water. Blend it all together, because I don't want the surprise, I want the garlic in there, but I don't want the surprise chunks. Because they can be a bit pungent, I guess there's a word here. Now obviously if you wanted to save time, I think garlic powder is a viable option, and I have no idea what the price is right now of garlic powder, but might end up being the same or even cheaper sometimes, you know. Oh, here is the cat, Mr. Cat. You want some garlic? Cat has come to visit. This were a restaurant, having a cat here on the countertop. You can't see him yet, but he's jumped up here. Probably some violation, health code violation. I'm not too worried because at the end of the day, I'm boiling all this stuff. Not that I worry too much otherwise, anyway. Let's see, this one doesn't. cat behind me. And again, I'll put a price breakdown in the description. Title of this video is probably going to be like 1,000 meals, 10 cents a piece, or something like that. I don't know. Whatever it comes up to, that's the title. Not that I have many viewers on this channel. I mean, thanks for anyone who's watching, who's enjoying this. Honestly, I mean, come on, I wouldn't watch something this long. But if you like it, you know, I imagine something in the background, something while you're doing something else, doing something more important that's taking up more of your focus, then sure, yeah. Sometimes we just need a little noise in the background while we're doing whatever we're doing. I can relate to that. Well, this could be a shorter video. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like what all you need to know is the ingredients. And that's pretty much it. It's soup. You throw everything in there. So, you know, I could just go in there and say, throw in this much garlic, throw in this many carrots, you know, da, da, da. And in 30 seconds, you've got a you've got a tutorial on how to do this stuff. But guarantee that putting together that 30-second video will take far more effort than however long this is. That's one thing that, you know, at least in my opinion, for a lot of this content that I put together, the longer the content, typically the easier it is to throw together. And I always try to make things succinct. Got that kettle bugging me, I don't know why. Always try to keep things short and to the point. I mean, I know that most of the videos I do are jokes of some kind and all that, but I kind of want people to realize that, you know, they're being made a fool or whatever within a minute. Well, that's unfortunate because it means that people view, you know, they click on my videos or whatever, and they say, oh, how to repair a hard drive. Or whatever, and then 10 seconds in, realize it's not true. Just a joke out there. And be gone. But, you know, it's all in fun. Don't want people believing something that could harm their system, so try to keep it that way. But even you can check out on the the Hungry Gizmo, the science channel that I put together. Because early on, I had thought about, hey, let's make some educational content, and I did. It's over on that channel. It's not viewed much. The trouble with that is, one, the amount of effort that goes in. But two, like, there's a certain point when I felt like, okay, this is all I have to share, and anything else is just repetition, and plenty of people are doing it better than me, and I didn't think, hey, I can add much to it, so yeah, I made like, I don't know, 10 videos, and that was it. Enough of that. I don't make any money off this stuff. Literally nothing, because a while back ago, YouTube, there was a while when I was making like, I don't know, $10 a month or something, some tiny amount. And then, of course, Google, YouTube, etc. decided that, hey, you don't have enough watch time. Because it was, I think it went from viewership to watch time. And I didn't have enough watch time, so no more money. No more $10 a month. Always had been nice to get those $10. I mean, it's not a ton, but it's just kind of like, oh, cool. Something extra. And with that gone, I mean, not the end of the world, but it's like, well, I think the kettle is trying to talk to me in Morse code. No, I think should probably unplug it, but I think there's a little moisture underneath one of the buttons. So it's setting it off. It happens. Well, we're getting through this. Next time, definitely, even for myself, it's like, I like this, but like there's a certain strength to this, and I have a feeling that to get as much kind of garlicky goodness as this, I feel like I'd have to use an entire bag of powdered garlic, but then again, it saves me this hour, why not? And it's not like, at this scale, it's not like, oh, we're spending, it's not, I know some of you are going to want to save every little bit you can, right? And that's fine. But, as quickly as everything else went, as long as this is taking, oops, well, I put that in the wrong place, okay. You have to ask, is it worth your time? I guess if you're not doing much else, I could be doing other stuff. Got a lot of projects I'm working on. I got a job I'm working on. So all this stuff. But again, this is not a bad way to spend an afternoon. Speaking out to the world. There's at least a couple of you out there listening. And watching. Maybe. I don't know. Okay. Now the pain is I'm going to have to do this again when I make the non-vegan version. Yeah, it's going to be a pain. Simple as that. I don't know how much of a tutorial this is going to amount to be, simply because, it's a long watch, but at least you get to see it in real time. Not much of a recipe to follow, like I said, you know. Throw in a bunch of ingredients, salt and pepper. If you got MSG, throw it in there because it'll make a difference. And just boil it. You can use peas, you can use beans, chickpeas. Kind of whatever you want to get in there, right? And then the question is, am I going to show you guys me cooking the second meal? Yeah, probably. Why not? More content, more content. You gotta respect anybody who does plan out, you know, these cooking videos. It takes effort. Even if you do it in one shot, you know, you still have to prepare a plan, etc., etc. And without any other cooking show, video, content creator, whatever you want to call it, is taking the authentic time to show you a man peeling onions. Okay, that's it. I see one of these that looks like it's unpeeled. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Now I smell like garlic. My hands smell like garlic. They probably permanently smell like garlic. You know how this works. You put that in and it like impregnates your hand with this smell of garlic. This blender is loud because the blade is off center. Because I fixed it. No. Did I have to? No. I mean, it's a 20 euro blender. It's not that expensive. But then again, if you can fix it, why not? So we're going to throw some pepper in there. Let's see, where do we have the pepper? Black pepper, yeah. Okay. Liquid in there. I do have to warn you, this will be loud. So let's quickly. Okay. I think that's good. Woo! That is concentrated garlic. That smells strong. Alright, I think that's it for now. I'm going to turn up the heat for a bit. Try to get this up to temperature. Yeah. We'll see how it comes out and how many meals we make, etc., etc., etc. I'm going to mix it a bit right now just to get that going. Okay, and hopefully those peas get soft, so see you in the next one. Whoa, what a mess. So, tastes okay. Actually, it tasted good, but it had a problem. The peas wouldn't mush for quite a long time, so I decided to do the baking soda trick. I'm going to put a little bit too much baking soda. It's edible, but it's edible. But the baking soda flavor, what do you call it? It's like a slight bitterish. Yeah, it's a bit on the too much side. But, you know, it's the lesson for next time, isn't it? I'm gonna have to clean up this mess anyway. Next time is this time, because right after this I'm doing the meat one. I think that one's gonna come out okay. Yeah, I mean it's got a good taste. It just I don't know how to describe baking soda, you know. Did wonders. I'm gonna move over here, where I'm gonna start to stack the pea soup. It's a little bit dark on camera, maybe it's the lighting, but anyway. Put them in these, I'm gonna have to clean this place up. But anyway, I guess that's what happens when you make soup. I put them in these half-liter boxes. To be frozen. And I estimate that's roughly, you know, the soup came out quite, how do you say that? Quite thick. It came out nice, but I think next time we can do a lot better. I would have left it, I did the baking soda thing, Normally, I would have tried to leave it. It had already been going on for, I don't know how many hours, 3 or 4 hours, and still kind of hard. The peas, they didn't get mushy. And that does happen from time to time. Normally, what I would suggest is to just keep it going. Until maybe it does get mushy. But considering that I have more meals on the way, and the peas that, like I said, they've been sitting out quite a while, I kind of risk having them go bad. This is, I mean, poor planning on my side. I mean, I should have waited until the pot had arrived before starting any of this. I mean, if I wanted to, I could have just put the peas in directly into the pot, save all this mess. But being the impatient person that I am, I really wanted to get started on this. And if things would have been shipped on time, you know, who knows. But anyway, but that just tells me for next time. Maybe I should get two pots, or I should just do, you know, take it one at a time, so I'm not in a rush, artificial rush, because well, yeah. So like I said, I think we're making more meals than expected. As you see, like, you know, I have to say that, like, while this stuff came out fine enough to eat, you know, I'm gonna eat it, no problem. I'm disappointed. I mean, food tastes fine. But there's, like, you know, there's food that you eat to eat. It's not bad or anything. And then there's food that you just, you know, you eat to enjoy. And this is somewhere in between those two categories. Which, well, it's, you know, we'll see with the next batch how it comes out. I'm actually expecting the next round to come out a bit better. Spice came out quite, I mean, all the mix, you know, it's just the right mix of everything in there. It's just the addition of baking soda I put a bit too much. You can smell it in the air. You can taste it in the food. Yeah, I went a little overboard on that. But the consistency is right, you know, everything about it is right. The flavor is, like I said, it's good. It's just that bit of baking soda that gives it a, I mean, if you've ever made cookies, a little bit too much baking soda. If you've ever made pretzels, and you know, sometimes you get a little too much on there. That's kind of what this is. Some people might like it, you know. But I would have preferred it without any of that taste. But we got what we have, and we're making more meals than I had anticipated, as I originally said. As you see, there's a little bit of a drip. This can be messy at times. But anyway, there'll be cleanup. I mean, kind of the part of doing these big chunky meals, you know, these whatever, is that you make one mess. You don't make, you know, 20 messes or whatever it is. These will go in the freezer. As I had anticipated, I thought we would have. Well, no, actually, we'll see. So I have made what? 16 meals so far. We said we were gonna have 40 from this batch, so we might not actually have 40. It's not a big deal, but maybe we will. Now, obviously, the idea is that you don't want to eat pea soup every single day, so you'll mix this in with other meals, however you want to do it. For the next round of peas, I'm planning to just try to leave it all day, from the morning until the evening. Because if I can get it right without any, it's a little trick, the baking soda. As you get the water, I mean it helps break down the vegetable matter when you're trying to make mush. But if we can all avoid it, then we need to. Well, I mean, of course, again, personal preference. These tend to be very filling meals. What can I say? Took a bit of a sleep. Yeah, just to give you an idea how long the cooking went on. But, you know, I think this was, at least for me, it's worth it because it's like, you know, in the future I'll avoid the mistakes I made in this meal prep. And we'll fix that for the future. And, you know, it's like, with this type of stuff, if I were to have to do it in smaller batches, well, it takes a long time. That's why I haven't done soup for any meal prep ever, just because of how time consuming it is. Which is also probably why, you know, I've made these simple mistakes this time. But a lot of times that's how you learn. Yeah. really want to cook them until they're nice and mushy. If they can get mushy without the aid of that baking soda. It's kind of the flavor you want because you get this kind of natural, creamy effect to it. So we didn't put any cream or any of that. I don't think it's necessary for this meal. Some of these I'm going to have to make sure they're sealed up afterwards. Anyway. I don't know who or what Mimi is, but these were secondhand. So. I'm going to take an old rag and wrap it around here. This bottom one is leaking. I don't want that to go too far. And then we'll put this here. Okay, it's 24. We still have a bit more. Right, 8 times 3, 24, yeah. Now these meals are bigger because the person eating them does a lot more exercise than I do, so they eat a lot more than I do. My meals, I use 300 milliliter tubs. Makes it easy to pull apart. And we'll get another few boxes. Now, because I'm going to be cooking right away, I'm not going to clean up this. Not that there's much of anything left in it. We're going to just pour the new batch peas right into it. So let's see, that's 26, right? Yeah. We have room for one more box. You know, since none of you can actually smell or taste what I'm making, I can always tell you, wow, this came out fantastic. No, like I said, it's like one of these things where the spices, the salt, the MSG, the pepper, the garlic, and all those flavors and smells together came out really nice. But then you've got and that's not enough for a. Okay, so we have 26 meals, was it? Yeah. Now these they'll go in the deep freezer. I'm going to let them cool for a bit here. I mean, not too long, but anyway. And they will go in the deep freezer. Now we have an empty pot. Doesn't look that nice, but we'll move over to kitchen mess from cooking peas. Anyway, gonna rinse these one more time. An odd one looking here. Take that out. Alright, and then we're gonna dump those into there. And then while we're at it, try. Oh, there you get to see. Oh, there. While we're at it, we should put some water to boil. Our tea kettle will behave. I'm going to put the heat at very low because there's no water in there, but I do want it to start warming up. Working. You can hear the kettle going. And now move on to the next bucket of heat. Okay. Hopefully these are still good. Like I said, next time either I'm going to just cook them straight in the pot without pre-soaking, or just do them one at a time, we'll see. So let's run that through a bit of water. Then we're gonna dump these in. Yeah. So, you know, my original prediction was we were gonna have 80 meals. Now, my original prediction was also based on using the full 15 kilo bag. So now we're using five. We're using 5 of those kilos. 1/3. I'm sorry, I just kind of woke up and left. I just taken a nap. Anyway, so we're using 1/3 of the peas that we originally bought. So at 1/3, it's, you know, it's a bit less than €8. Ingredients. I'm gonna take out. We have some carrots here, chopped up. We have the garlic. That's a pain. That takes a long time. Got some water going. Okay, let's, I'll put the lid on just for a bit. Wipe away the chopping board. Okay, so put in some of the hot water. Tea kettle. And I'm going to turn up the heat to about 6 out of 12, so halfway, medium. Add some more water to the kettle and repeat. And we'll put that lid back on. Stays nice and warm. Okay. And when we do that, we move back to our chopping board. As our kitchen gets a bit confusing. Get some carrots that I'm going to toss over here to the side as they're washing. So obviously these carrots are already washed in some way, somehow. Yeah, I'm going to move this a little bit to the side so that we can, so I can start chopping away. Let's see. I like the nice chunks as I don't know, just like, and of course we're cooking this until everything is nice and soggy, so that'll help. And this time around we're going to try to avoid that baking soda. I do think this one will come out way better than the last batch, in my opinion. Simply because now we know how to avoid the mistakes. Some more water boiling, so we're going to pour that in. Put some more to go. It's cooking. We continue on the carrot chopping network. As you see, there's 3 carrots here, and all in pristine condition. If you would like to place an order right now, please call the number that's not on the screen, and we will try to get you in. As you see at the moment, we are down to 2 carrots that are slowly being chopped away. So I would implore you to make that call as soon as possible. And they're gone. Actually, there's more, don't worry. If you missed out, here you go. Of course, if you are watching on a streaming platform, such as YouTube, you can always rewind, fast forward, do's or clicks. You can watch multiple videos at the same time. You can leave this one as background noise. This and these are the last 2 for real this time. No lie. After this, in this household, there are no more carrots. Until when, I don't know. I got a little more, a couple more liters boiled, so let's go ahead and pour that in. Do we need more? Maybe we do. I'll put another full kettle to go. Now we have something a little different for this one because we want a little meat flavor in there. It's not like the most fantastic meat. You could, of course, I had originally thought to use bacon, and while bacon is quite a bit more expensive, I do think that it has a strong flavor, so it might have, for the flavor you get might have been the same. But these hot dogs are dirt cheap. Can't make those, and it's like, I don't know. I remember what I paid for these. It was on sale, like €2 for the whole box of 30. It's about a kilo. But again, everything's getting expensive. Chili. These are weak enough that I think I can just break these off or maybe I'll chop them off camera. Give you something new to look at. Yeah, I was looking at the price of chicken. It's nearly €3 a kilo. Not too long ago, last year, I was hovering at just under 2. And I know within the last 5 years, at some point, it was like 160. So, you know, it tells you that we are in some rapid state of inflation or something, you know, whatever it is. Of course, as this cooks, all these flavors will mix together. Should be pretty nice, I think. And while you eat it, you get the nice chunks of meat. Well, as much meat as this can be called meat. It's not bad. Of course, you know, you can add in whatever you want, mix it up how you want. I'm just trying to keep it in the spirit of low budget, so that's why we're kind of picking the ingredients we do. Try to get in that, you know, sort of balance that we're looking for. Now, this might be a bit much liquid, but it will evaporate. And it will thicken for sure. Okay, we still have the onions, and we still have the garlic. And as you know, the garlic does take quite some time. So let's do the onions. Yeah, there we go. Oh, like I do, I cut the top off. The bottom off. And then you go to the waist. Get this going now. Okay, anyway, I guess you can see what I'm doing. If you've watched this far, I guess it's very commendable. So, continue. Okay. Some nice chunks to put in there. It looks like the video cut off, I don't know when. But we have one more onion, which we'll take care of in a second. Okay. And then we continue. One big onion. Skin, outer skin still on there somewhere. It's not too big of a deal. Okay, so good for the onion. I have myself a little bit of tea. Not bad. Okay. Put the lid back on there. I'll do the garlic. Garlic heads, and you know what, this time I'm going to try to just throw them into the thing because I just don't have the patience to. Well, actually, let's see. Okay. Man, I am getting warm. Is it just me or... I don't know, it says 24. But of course that's by the wall anyway. And 24 is a bit warm. Anyway. Got some cats here rolling around. Toss all the skin and the bio waste. Okay. And you know what? I'm gonna try this trick with the pan again. I honestly don't know if it's gonna work, but I mean, last time it didn't. This time it doesn't. I don't know. I'm just doing it wrong. Very well might be. This time around I'm throwing the cloves straight in, just because I'm lazy. Is that going to make a difference to the flavor? I hope it stays nice. But, who knows? We continue peeling garlic. I think this had to have been the most time-consuming thing in the last one. And it'll probably be the most time-consuming thing this time around too, so buckle in. like I said, I think next time, garlic powder. As long as it's not like extraordinarily more expensive, it might be cheaper. But yeah, you know, even if I was doing a small amount, and I don't know, why would I put myself through this? Maybe a purist would say the taste is different. I don't know. I don't know if it would make that big of a difference. And we're already trying to do this whole thing on the cheap, so obviously we do want it to taste as good as it can, but we don't want to do that at the sacrifice of convenience. And considering that probably 2/3 of this whole video is me peeling garlic, I would say that having it powdered and ready to go, or you just dump it in one quick swoosh, saves you a lot more time. Like I said, I also consider doing the powdered mustard maybe next time. Said I wonder if it's cheaper, I don't know. Some of this is price, but also like don't want to spend too much of your time either, because already, like, you know, if you think about it, okay, soaking the peas is not a big deal. You put them in a bucket, you soak them, right? And some will say that you don't even need to do that. I don't know. I really don't know what the science behind that is, and why you wouldn't. I mean, there's this belief that, you know, soaking them and then rinsing them, you get rid of all this kind of like toxic, I don't know, garbage. But anyway, okay, not a big deal. Put the peas in a big bucket or pot, whatever you want to call it, and you boil them for hours. Not a big deal, because 90% of that is you just letting it do its thing. As long as you don't have the temperature over too much, you can pretty much walk away. Everyone says stay in the kitchen while it's boiling, but, you know, even then, you know, you do your own thing while it slow cooks. Now you let it simmer, just have it simmer, and you just leave it there. Now, onions, you gotta chop the onions. Is there an alternative to that? Do they sell chopped onions? I don't know. I didn't see any, and if they do, I didn't see any. I know they have dried onions, but or do they? I know they have dried onions, but anyway, chopping onions, it's an okay task. Doesn't take too long. Same for the carrots. You know, doesn't take too long to chop them. So at this time, the biggest pain is the garlic. But you get to learn from my mistakes. Well, maybe. Or you waste just as much time because you're watching me peel the garlic. Okay. Suffice to say that I'll be smelling like garlic for quite some time. And this whole neighborhood is going to have all these smells going through the hallways, and I'm sure they love it. I'm sure the neighbors love it. Yeah, who knows? this one we're going to chop the end off because it doesn't want to peel. Okay. Since we have the lid off, I'm going to turn the heat up to full, to high. I learned from the last batch that it does take quite a bit of heat to heat up roughly 20 liters of liquid. Oh, maybe there's some new invention that I haven't seen. In the past I've tried to find ways to peel garlic. And I think in the past I've also said that I'm never going to peel garlic again because I've never found a method that... I don't know. Cat's crying again. I guess he wants attention again. But, anyway, I haven't found a method that I think is... that, honestly works. I mean, they sell these kind of like silicone rolling mats and whatnot, and I always find those just as much as a pain. And I know they have some expensive machines that'll supposedly do it, but when I'm looking for some new tech, it's like I'm not willing to spend more than $5. Otherwise, just get back to powdered. Alright. Well, that seems to be helping a little bit, cutting off the tip. Not perfect, but an improvement. What my goal is, because I am throwing in whole pieces, is not to get a surprise of a giant chunk of garlic. That would be great. I mean, you still will get that surprise, but what I'm looking for more so is that with the amount that we're cooking it, we should expect the flavors to kind of mishmash and blend into each other, so that much of the garlic flavor has left the clove, and it's not too bad. I mean, we'll see. I think it's been quite a while since I've made soup, and again, and usually the reason is because, it's easy to make soup, but at the same time, it's time consuming. But it's not generally like consuming your active, focus and time. But like if I'm making doing a giant meal prep, problem I find with soups is that like you're sitting there trying to make a giant meal prep, and you can only really make one batch of soup in an evening, maybe two, but that's it. Or if you fried foods and all that, you can just you can just keep on turning it over. So that's why I haven't incorporated it. Hopefully I'm not repeating myself too much, but anyway, I'm trying to make conversation for the camera. And this time around, like the other set, I think I cooked it for about 4 hours. Quite a long time, 4 or 5 hours. This set, if the peas don't go soft like I expect them to, like mushy, soft, all that, I'm planning to leave it up to, maybe 8-10 hours. Just leave it running all day. At a simmer. Let's see if we can get that kind of mushy texture without having to resort to throwing in the baking soda, because that kind of, like the last one, it can introduce flavors. Anything adds flavors. It's like, when you're making cookies or something, and if you use yeast or you use baking soda, you're gonna have a slightly different flavor. Yeast can taste quite good. Baking soda is one of those things where you have to kind of watch how much you're putting in, because you put in too much and you get this kind of bitter taste. So I have the stove on high. Lid is removed, but anyway, it takes quite some time for this amount of ingredients to warm up. Now once it's warm, you can. I left it at medium-high cooking, and that seemed to keep it at a simmer with the lid on. But anyway. Now the question is, should I get 2 of these so I can make twice the soup in one go? I don't know. So I think about that one. Like I said, I don't expect anyone who's on a budget to buy a pot that big. But you get your cheap €5 pot and make soup for a few days. Okay, that's enough garlic. We have it on high right now. We're going to want to add the mustard, especially the rest of the mustard. Ooh, shit. Let's see if by poking a little. Let's see if we can speed this up. Okay, that's about all. Doesn't look great at all, but gosh, I found from the last one I need quite a bit of MSG to get that flavor going, so a whole bunch of that MSG. Get in that black pepper. A couple of bay leaves. Yeah, put them all. Okay. Add some vegetable stock to this. Not necessary, but actually add a bit of flavor. And what else do we have? I don't think anything else fits taste-wise. Do we have some salt? A little bit of salt. So I'm going to mix that up a bit. Let's get a new there. We have this filled up way more than the other one. So, is it because of the sausage? I don't know. Anyway, I'll leave that there. And we're gonna let it cook. And then when we get back, we'll see what we have. And now we are done. We have a little bit of spillover. Bit of a mess. Not exactly too happy about how this came out, but it is what it is. I think next time what I will do is soak the peas in baking soda at the soaking stage so that when I wash them, they're nice and soft and I don't get any of that in the actual cooking. Something about this, I don't know if it's the water or the peas are too old or whatever, but they just took a lot longer than usual to cook. Obviously, this is not the most, what do you call it? It looks like some type of gruel or something, whatever, but I assure you, this tastes okay. And makes a lot of meals. Close these up. Usually you want pea soup to be pretty mushy and have like a smooth texture, which I guess there's different ways of doing it, but I'm not the expert on that. But next time I think we're going to do a better job. So, okay. You're seeing this for the first time. I mean, you're seeing me do this for the first time, so it's always going to be a little different. But it came out tasting okay. Nice mix of different flavors and whatnot. See, let's grab more boxes. And, for the most part, I'll mix these in with my lunches. It won't be the only thing I eat, but at least not every single day because it can get a bit tiring, but can't really beat the price. Get a lot of nice nutrition. Got bits of meat in there. Not so talkative today because, well, this process has been going on for quite some time. Quite a bit longer than I would have anticipated or expected, and a lot of that is due to mistakes that I made during the cooking process that next time we can avoid, make it more streamlined, yada, right? Yeah. Like I said, if I were to do this again, which I will eventually, we would do no garlic. I mean, yes, garlic powder, but no real garlic because that takes forever. And soak the peas with a bit of baking soda to get them soft from the start. You don't normally need to do that. I don't know if it's the water. Like I said, when I looked online, they said if water has high mineral content to begin with, it could cause some issues. Could just be that the peas have their own issues. It could be just that when I bought them, it could be that the price was this cheap because they were old, you know. They weren't expired. I mean, I don't know if they expire, but they usually have a best before date. They're within that, I think. So, I mean, taste-wise, this came out pretty good. So, no complaints there. These tend to be very filling. Let's grab some more boxes. So we have, let's see, how many meals? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 so far. And, you know, I cooked this for, must have been something like, it was all day. I left it on there for about 12 hours, I think. And the peas they're soft. They taste fine. They're not mushy. So, here's what it is. Not bad. A little different than I expected. Okay, so we still have a lot more. Of course, we're gonna have to clean this kitchen up afterwards, but again, the advantage of doing one giant pot is you just clean up one giant mess instead of many tiny messes, you know. overfilled a couple of these, which is off camera, but we have a little bit of leakage, so put that there. Grab some more boxes. So with that we have 27. Not too bad. Grab more lids. Continue. Okay, well that should be 33. Making quite a few meals. With that we have 39 meals. Not bad at all. So now we have 45 meals. I said, not the most exciting meal, but it's got a lot of spices in there, flavor, a little bit of meat, and onions, garlic, carrots. So, I mean, if you're trying to live cheap, this is kind of the meal to go for. And if you just want a quick lunch without, going out spending 10 euros or whatever, this is not a bad choice. Still have more to go. Almost done here, so. Well, that last one's a little small, but we'll say that's it. Otherwise, a little crispy on the bottom. Some people like that. I don't like it so much. It's not too much anyway. But with that, we can say we have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 47 meals. Could have been better, but a lot of that, it's cooking process, whatever I did. Other improvements to be made next time. But, yeah, each of these meals, I'll have to do the calculation, but I'm absolutely sure they were less than €1 a meal. Maybe I'm wrong, but wouldn't be surprised if we got close to 50 cents a meal. And point is, if you're trying to eat cheap, you can do it. Not going to be luxury. You might lack some diversity in food. I wouldn't suggest doing this as your only meal, but this is one of the many meals you can do pretty cheap. You don't have to do it in bulk either. You can do it little by little. Prices don't, the only thing I got in bulk here was the peas, so it's not like your prices are going to go up too much if you do them one by one, and you might have better control over the quality of the food. Yeah, so I'll put that information in there. I spent way too long with the garlic, so next time not doing that again. Better. Because I think the powdered stuff, to me, it's just as good. I mean, in general, I just want stuff that tastes good, but is low effort, quick to make. The most time consuming here was not just the soaking, but the cooking. It just took forever to get those peas soft. And on the first batch, I put a lot of baking soda in there, and to the detriment of the flavor. Not terrible, but not great. And here, we just left it going for hours. And I think from the morning till the night, it was well over 12 hours and nowhere near as mushy as the other ones. Otherwise, it tastes fine, tastes good. It's, basically, there's ways of eating cheap, if you absolutely have to. Used to have to do stuff like this, but not anymore. I mean, still like doing it because, when you're lazy, when you don't want to, you don't want to prepare food and you don't want to go out and buy food, you just toss these in the microwave, ready to go. Nice meal. Not bad. Maybe you toss in a piece of toast if that's what you like, or Add a bit of water to make it more soupy, but otherwise, on their own, they're fine. So now I'm gonna clean up. You guys don't have to watch that because that's gonna, yeah. Well, you don't have to watch this anyway, but hopefully, if you watch this far, you kind of enjoyed having it in the background, enjoyed watching it, skimming through it, whatever. So until the next time I put something out here, do have a good day, good evening, good morning, wherever you're in the world. Bye-bye.